Hey everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're looking at the weather for the next 8 to 10 days. In today's video, this takes to around the 5th of September, so we'll be going off into the first week of the new month with this update. Looks like we're going to try and reach some high pressure in for the start of September, so I think next week we'll have a fair amount of dry weather. Not necessarily all that warm. The high pressure is going to be centred generally a little bit to the west, so you're going to be pulling down pretty cool northwesterly or northerly winds, so I don't think we're going to be expecting a hot start to September this year, but probably drier compared to this week's weather. At the end of the video, we'll have a very quick look at the Beijing Climate Centre for the winter. I've had the latest update in from the BCC, and that will be with you at the end of the video. Just for fun, of course. Now, before I get on with that, just to make sure the ads, link to articles on all pages at gadgets.com, have a browse widgets. Any articles that you're interested in, please click preview article for read the article. Thanks so much for doing that. There's also video ads on most pages. You say open out the content, and when you watch them, they'll close back up again. Thanks for getting involved. Thanks for doing that. So, just starting off with 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts. I've rotated these, flipped them around a little bit. So now we've got the ECMWF on the top and the GFS is on the bottom of the screen as you're looking at it. 500 miles, 85 speeds is there in absolute high pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, orange, red extrapolates to high pressure. So what we see with both of these models, and this is for a week to 10 days time, going inside of September, is I've got a ridge of high pressure out to the west and the northwest of the UK, with a trough of low pressure up to the northeast over Scandinavia. So the jet stream here is going a bit like that. We're on the cool side of the jet with this, and we bring down the air from sort of a northerly, northwesterly type direction. The saving grace at high pressure is sort of just to the west of us, blocking off the Atlantic, if you like, and keeping it hopefully mostly dry, although with that trough over Scandinavia, that could over time become more influential and possibly bring showery rain into the north and the east. But let's hope that the high pressure will stick just close enough to us to keep us mainly dry. But with the ridge in that position, don't be expecting a heat wave. So that is what the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles are showing, really dealing with the temperatures. First of all, the thick red line here is the 30-year temperature average, and we can see it over the next week or so. The dates are on the bottom of the chart, of the graph just there. We can see that overall we're going to be sticking pretty close to the 30-year temperature average. At times we do go a little bit above average, sometimes going below average, and there's a little bit above average just there. But overall, sticking quite close to the 30-year temperature average. So overall, pretty disappointing temperatures. When you go through to the start of September, the 30-year average in terms of the upper air temperature is going to be relatively cool, especially at night. If you get plenty of sunshine by day, it could be a bit warmer than average by day. But overall, certainly no real indication there of a particularly warm start to September. We do see a bit of a drying trend as well. Lots of rainfall coming up this week, of course, as we've explained. Up to the weekend, we're going to see plenty of rain. This is September the 1st just here, and we do get a little bit of a drying trend coming through there. Not completely dry. We are still bringing some precipitation spikes through at times, but certainly drier compared to what we're having or going to have for the final days of August. So we do get a bit of a drying trend next week for the start of September, but also the temperatures really don't look particularly exciting at all. Temperature anomalies for the coming week, 25th of August to 2nd of September, around average, really maybe even hinted at being a little bit below average, but no great deviation there. Rainfall anomalies coming out near normal, wetter than average down in the south. This is taking into account, of course, this week's quite wet weather, so we should see these going more towards drier than average conditions or anomalies over the coming few updates as we start to lose the influence of all of the wet weather that's coming up this week. So here are the generic charts. This is the GFS for Saturday. Complicated picture for the bank holiday weekend because we're trying to introduce some very warm or hot air even from the south, but we've also got very cool air sitting up to the north around this trough of low pressure. What eventually happens is that we just sort of generate an area of low pressure in situ over the country, by bank holiday Monday. Now, I'm not sure how active that's going to be. There is quite a big temperature contrast between the north of the country, to the north of the country, to the south of the country. So, in theory, that could be quite active. But actually, the models aren't really hinting at this doing a great deal at the moment. But it needs keeping an eye on for the bank holiday weekend. I'm not sure we've got the weather pinned down for the bank holiday weekend yet. So it does need watching, because with such a big temperature contrast from northern Scotland to northern France, and the UK in between, of course, there is certainly the potential for something quite wet to develop over the weekend. So let's wait and see on that. As we get through into next week, that low pressure sort of sticks close to northeastern Scotland, so we continue to pull down these rather cool north to northwesterly winds. These winds will bring showers into the north and west, probably a fair amount of dry weather into the south, hopefully. With time through the course of next week, that low pressure sort of slinks away in towards Scandinavia, and this is the ridge building out to the west of the country. So we end up by day 10, which is Friday the 4th of September. We're really sitting just about to west of us, but the flow, of course, around that ridge is coming from a northerly direction, or a northwesterly direction, so it's certainly not going to be a warm start to September. There will be showers in the north, and generally the winds coming down from quite a cool direction next week. Having a look at the ECMWF, so this is for next weekend. First of all, this is Sunday the 30th of August, and again, it's this idea that we're trying to introduce some hot air from the south with these red colours here, these red contour colours just here, but we've generally got cool air sitting up to the north and the northwest, and in between there's probably some sort of weather front. How active that weather front is going to be, causing a bit of a nightmare. As we get through to bank holiday Monday, though, any suggestions of warmth really being kept at bay over on the continent, and overall we're in this sort of cool northerly, northwesterly flow. Going through to Tuesday, there's the ridge building out to the west, bring down these cool northerly winds. Fair amount of dry weather probably in the south and southwest, but there could be rain in the north and the east. And that's really how we go through the week, to be honest, with high pressure generally close to the country, so a fair amount of dry weather, but certainly nothing particularly warm or hot there with the high pressure out to the west. It'll be a relatively cool start, albeit pretty dry, to September. So cool, fairly dry conditions through the course of next week. Looks like that's how we're going to begin September and autumn 2015. Finally, I promise you a quick sneak peek at the winter of 2015-2016, becoming winter from the Bayesian Climate Centre. So this is the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast from the Bayesian Climate Centre for next winter. The anomaly shows we've got a lot of ridging around the country and generally centred to the south of the country, with low pressure up to the north. And if you know how to read these charts, you'll know that this is not a good signal if you want a cold winter, because what's going to be happening is the jet stream will be generally running to the north of the country, actually. So we're on the mild side of the jet there. We've got a ridge close to the country, so it's probably going to be fairly dry if that was to come off. But it would be pretty mild. We'd be dragging up a lot of mild air with that ridge of high pressure. You want a cold winter, you want to see the reverse of that, really, with low pressure running through the central Atlantic and high pressure up around Greenland and Iceland. So the temperature anomaly from the Bayesian Climate Centre looks like this for the winter, coming out significantly warmer than average, and the precipitation anomaly is actually coming out near normal to a little bit wetter up in the north. I would expect that to be a bit drier, really. I would have thought that with a ridge close to the country, it should be a bit drier than average down in the south. Maybe makes sense to be a bit wetter than average in the northwest. But overall, near normal rainfall for the winter, but a significantly milder than average winter being signalled there. It's very early days, so don't be too concerned about that. It is in line, of course, with what the CFS V2 is showing at the moment for winter. So the two of the biggest models sort of in line with the idea that we're in for a mild winter. But it's very early days on this, and we will look at these models in more detail as we get through into September. That's when all of the winter updates will start. But that's the signal for this month from BCC anyway. That's it for that. It's a 5-day forecast tomorrow, so come back for that. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.